Man, she has her hands full being a lawyer, a diplomat, a detective, and a She-Hulk at Sakaar in the Incredible Hulk's absence. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Imperial War Planet She-Hulk. Yo, what are we waiting on? Roll that intro, cuz. Yeah. Yo, what's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earthsmack, the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media channel. So today, we are going to talk about Imperial War Planet She-Hulk, man. And I'm going to tell you, I am thoroughly entertained by this issue of Planet She-Hulk. Couldn't wait to jump into it. Now, you definitely want to wait to the end of this video because I'm going to give you my personal review on Planet She-Hulk. But for now, let's get into the story. So before we get into Planet She-Hulk, I got to set it up for you, okay? So right now there's a separate Marvel storyline called Imperial. And in Imperial, there is a war going on. There's an assassination of high-ranking officials that just want to see war. But I'm not going to dive deep into that. I'm going to just tell you what led up to the premise of She-Hulk running Sakaar. Incredible Hulk's son was assassinated. He was poisoned. And obviously, Cho and Jennifer and Bruce go to Sakaar to find out what exactly is going on. Now, from this standpoint, it says, I'm going to need you to stay. And Jen was like, what? She's like, Cho and I are going with the medic to Council Hub so their collective can determine precisely where the poison came from. And then when they figure out who is behind this, I'm going to throw that person into the nearest black hole. And She-Hulk was like, great, perfect. So I think I'd much rather tag along instead of staying here. Family business, right? He was like, yeah, but so is this. This world still recognizes my authority, but the wars of secession will resume. That is assured. It is what this place is, who these people are. Now, I have declared a period of mourning, 5 days, for the 5 former wives of Hero Kala. But that peace will not last an hour if someone is not here to remind them of the real power on this world. So I need you to stay. Please, will you? And she's like, 5 days? All right, cool. I got 5 days. I can do 5 days, but are you sure that's enough time? Will you be back by then? And Hulk was like, you got my word. He didn't show up in 5 days because there's a lot of crap that's going on in Imperial issue 1 through 3. Now, if you want me to cover issues 1 through 3, let me know in the comments below. But now let's jump into some Planet She-Hulk. She says, this was meant to be a period of peace. 5 days without violence, just 5 days to honor King Hero Kala's death and to allow his 5 wives a period of mourning. Now, I have been doing my best to maintain that peace, just as Hulk requested. And while I knew this was not going to be an easy job, since by default for Sakaar seems to just be death and chaos and violence, I really could not have imagined I would be standing here accusing one of you of murder. But it's true, and I have all the evidence. One of Hero Kala's mourning widows is a cold-blooded killer. Now, mind you, Hero Kala has 5 wives at this point. Now, we go to day 3. Now, day 3, fights is already breaking out, and obviously, she stopped a few fights, and she said, listen, and third, I have dedicated my life to upholding justice based on the system of laws meant to help maintain order. And while I may have promised Hulk I would keep the peace on Sakaar for 5 days, I have no illusions that this planet could ever create a sense of order. So at this point, she's like, yeah, is that how they usually come to bad consequences with bad choices? So that's me. I'm the bad consequences in case that wasn't clear. And you know what? Forget it. I know you didn't come here for the pre-battle crypts. You're just here for the smashing. So at this point, she literally smashed this dude into the ground. And she was like, y'all need to run. Like that's the first good choice they're going to make. So she goes on to say the next person who decides to break the peace will end up with more than a fractured rib or whatever alien bits you got. It will mean your heads or heads if you have multiple. I am an equal opportunity beheader. And the advisor was like, I hate to be the one to point this out, Jennifer, but beheadings aren't known for being particularly peaceful. And she was like, violence is all anyone here responds to Conrad. So, right. Well, I also hate to be the one to tell you that what has happened at the palace is the most unfortunate, it seems. So at this point, she went from stopping some violent outbreak here to witnessing a murder over there. And it is Hirokala's former throne room, and it is Hirokala's political advisor. And it's Alistair Stone. Like, clearly he's been murdered. They got to find out what exactly is going on. So this is where the detective work actually goes in. And so it says Hirokala's fourth wife is the princess of the dynasty Car. So Conrad was explaining how Hirokala was able to keep the peace. He has 5 wives for a reason. It's to broker peace deals with other races on the planet Sakaar. So it's not really feeling warm and fuzzy in Jennifer's eyes, but it is what it is. So now you in day 4. This is day 4. Now we got to check the autopsies. And according to the doctor, it says lacerations, ligature marks around the wrist and throat, traces of poison known as Eclipta in his blood. And how did he die? He's like, well, I'm not sure. He's like, but you have a laundry list of things that happened to him. He's like, yes, but I don't know which one killed him. Like, Laura Stone was stabbed, beaten, poisoned, strangled, and cursed. And She-Hulk was like, is that an official medical determination? And he was like, yeah, it is. He's like, I think it's time to start interviews with the suspects. Conrad, bring anyone with security clearance to the grand room. And at that point, the lights go out. Now, she is suddenly attacked by these armored knights, which is basically hollowed knights. And she does what she does best. Now, this is where the action comes in. This is where the smashing comes in. So she takes out every single bit of these soldiers, like dismantles them. I mean, this is She-Hulk we're talking about. This is the Hulk's cousin. And Conrad's like, very good, but I'm gonna need you to help me because I got a hit with an arrow. Now, the thing is with Conrad, he doesn't die easily. Like, he has died and he's been put together again, and it's been cool. Because in this comic, he was like, oh, not again. Because he got pretty much split in half in Imperial #1. So again, if you want me to cover Imperial 1, 2, and 3, and in the future 4, let me know in the comments below. Now, going further, he's like, I know who did this. And at that point, you go now to the present. So She-Hulk says, Thorn, Hirokala's third wife, you had security clearance motive to kill Alistair because of the arranged marriages and the magic. And you try to have me taken off the board because of reanimating those suits of armor when I got too close to the truth. And she says, yes, She-Hulk, I did kill Alistair, and I do it again. And someone chimes in is like, she didn't kill Alistair, I did. Like, I stabbed Alistair while he slept. His blood is on my hands. And another wife chimes in, actually Alistair Stone was killed by poison, Eclipta to be exact, which is found on my family's property in northern Sakaar. I didn't want to kill Alistair, but the life he took from me, it was just death for an unjust man. And like, Alistair Stone was killed by an assassin. My assassin, says another wife. He was hanged in his quarters, and his last moments on this earth were agonizing. And then another wife chimes in, speaking her own native language. So now they are fighting amongst each other. The wives are, as far as who killed Alistair. And she was like, all right, enough. How about we say you all killed Alistair Stone and you're all under arrest for murder? They stopped and they look at She-Hulk and bursted out laughing. She was like, yo, what exactly is so funny? And Conrad chimes in and says, Jennifer, these women clearly had blood feud with Alistair Stone, and a blood feud is settled with blood. He's like, right, but murder is illegal. And Conrad's like, on Earth it's illegal, but here it's all right. And she's like, so why did we waste our time solving a murder mystery if we can't do anything about the murder? And Conrad was like, I thought you simply enjoyed the thrill of the chase. I just let you have it. He's like, or you could kill them for breaking Hulk's decree of peace. She was like, no, what? I'm not going to kill them. And Conrad says, then this will be something you remember for the future. You came here with Earth customs, Earth laws, but this is Sakaar. He's like, I don't need to remember this, Conrad. He's like, because there is no future for me on Sakaar. He's like, Hulk will return on day 5. And I will finally get off this planet. I will return to Earth to my law practice, where I spend my days upholding laws and regulations to help keep order. But, and I can promise you, I will never, ever return to Sakaar. And Conrad, this is day 6. It's like maybe Hulk is just running late. And she is pissed beyond all recognition because she is in charge of this whole entire planet that is after day 5. Things are going to go into chaos. Like, she will have to be a diplomat even further. So it will be continued in Imperial number 4. So this is where this ends, and this is where my review begins. Now, I will say this is refreshing to see Planet She-Hulk. I'm going to need more issues of this. I do not need a one-shot of Planet She-Hulk. I understand of this particular continuity of Marvel. This is not in the main continuity of things, because if it was, it'd be very, very confusing. But yeah, I need more Planet She-Hulk, and I feel like we're going to get that in the future with Imperial 4, because this is where it concludes, where what's going on. But maybe when Hulk returns to Sakaar, maybe She-Hulk would just have things ruled and in decent and in order, and she may not want to leave Sakaar. She may want to say, hey, you know, Hulk, why don't you just go back to Earth? I got this. That's Sakaar. Now that, I am game for that. Like, this was a very entertaining issue. I couldn't wait to jump into it. It does have comedy moments in it. It does have action in it. It does have a little bit of mystery in it and everything else in between. I did skip some key parts as well, so you definitely want to go to your local comic book store and check that out, or get yourself a digital copy of Planet She-Hulk. And again, if you want me to cover Imperial issues 1 through 4, definitely let me know in the comments below, and let me know in the comments and how you feel about Planet She-Hulk. Yo, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and a notification bell. So until next time, peace.